is the story of a girl who develops a rather unique talent. She develops the ability to know what anybody says about her at any point in time. And because she has acted on television and is somewhat famous, this becomes like torture to her to always know what her fans have said. And I got the idea for Claim to Fame because of something that happened with my daughter's volleyball team when she was a freshman in high school. There was always a lot of drama going on her team. And at one point it got to the point that parents were yelling at each other and the coach was crying, and it was just a really bad scene. And it all revolved around one girl supposedly talking about another girl behind that girl's back. After that happened, there was a tournament that my daughter's volleyball team was in, and it was one of those situations where it was amazing that they could play together as a team because it seemed like they all hated each other so much and were fighting so much. And my husband said something to me about one of the girls, and I said, be careful. She's got the kind of ESP where she knows what's said about her no matter what. And a couple hours later, I was driving to do a book signing, and it suddenly dawned on me that if somebody really did have the kind of ESP where they could hear anything that was said about them, it would be a very interesting setup for a story. I think our culture is definitely way too obsessed with who's famous and who isn't and why somebody is famous. And it's kind of bizarre to me how some people who seem to have no real talent or nothing to really set them apart for some reason, and then just because they're famous, everybody's fascinated with them. And that's one of the things that I was trying to comment on in this book, that it's all very bizarre. I think most readers think of themselves as ordinary people, so it's easier for them to relate when there's an ordinary character as the main character, or a seemingly ordinary person. And then once they're thrust into an extraordinary situation, I think it's very easy for readers to then wonder, well, how would I react if that happened to me? Writing for teens is a lot of fun because there's so much change that goes on in teens' life, and I can reflect that. And I also don't have to restrict myself as much in terms of the topics that I'm looking at, that teens are much more aware of what's going on around them than younger kids, certainly. Since I do have kids who are teens living with me, I realize that teens can also be very cynical, so I realize that as a writer I have to be careful in terms of what I write, that it's not something that they're going to dismiss quickly.